Is the pulse oximeter a great tool or a useless distraction? Does the pulse ox probe fail you, or do you fail it? We'll talk about it on this One for the Road. This pulse ox probe just failed again. Why do I even use this thing? Hey, like any other tool in our toolbox, a pulse oximeter can be highly useful, or it can be a recipe for making bad clinical decisions based on how well we understand it. Pulse oximetry is a non-invasive means to measure arterial oxygen saturation and heart rate. And when used correctly, it can tell us the oxygen saturation of hemoglobin in the distal capillaries. Pulse oximeters use a photoelectric sensing probe to measure absorbed red and infrared light. And you can do this at the finger, at the toe, even at the earlobe. The big problem with pulse oximetry is that we need to know about the conditions that can make the pulse ox readings inaccurate. So let's talk about those. Let's talk about some of the reasons that our pulse oximeter can steer us wrong. First, the site where we measure the light absorption needs to be clean and it needs to be warm. Cold fingers and anything that affects distal circulation is going to alter the reading. The digit also needs to be free from excess dirt or nail polish, so a little site preparation is sometimes necessary. Bright lights, vasoconstriction, poor limb perfusion, and blood pressure cuffs can all cause abnormally low readings. Also know that hyperventilation and hypoventilation can both give us hemoglobin saturation readings that aren't necessarily representative of the intercellular oxygen or cellular perfusion. So we need to look at the entire clinical picture. Also, things like anemia and hemorrhagic shock can give us falsely high oxygen saturation readings, when the true volume of oxygen available to the cells might be quite low. And any conditions like polycythemia, like we see in a lot of our COPD patients, that can cause low readings when the total volume of oxygen available is actually adequate for the patient. That's also why our COPD patients get that chronic blueness around their lips and their fingers, same condition. Lastly, we don't want to forget about carbon monoxide, which can cause high readings on the pulse oximeter when the actual available oxygen to the cells is quite low. So what can we do? We can use a properly sized probe on a site that's clean, that's warm, that's dry, that doesn't have nail polish on it. And we can also look at the underlying pleth wave when that's available to make sure that we have adequate perfusion and a strong signal. And then know the patient's medical history. Considering the pulse ox readings in light of the full clinical picture is going to help you know when it's giving you helpful information or not. I hope you find that helpful. I'm Steve Whitehead. I appreciate you watching. That is One for the Road.